Hi, welcome. I am Isoboye Vincent. In this video, I'm going to talk about basic structure of C#. I will also talk about introduction of namespace, introduction of method, purpose of the main method, reading and writing in C#. Let's take a look at the structure of C# in our Visual Studio Code. This is the Hello C# program that we created when we installed Visual Studio. Take a look at this structure. This is the basic structure of C# programming. Using system here is the namespace. Namespace is a collection of classes or other namespaces. The reason why namespace is used is to arrange the program into a better structure. For example, in this system namespace, we have the class console. We can also see a namespace here called Hello C#. In this namespace, we have the class program. So in each of the namespace, we can have several classes or other namespaces in case we have a nested namespaces. But don't worry about this if you don't really understand how they are structured. When we come to the topic classes and namespaces, you will be able to understand them very well. Now let's take a look at the working of the system namespace. Assuming we don't have this namespace in this program, if we try to run it to see the result, we are going to have compiler error because using namespace is not specified. It shows red line under this console because console class is found in the namespace system, and using namespace is not mentioned. The word using is like you are telling C# that use this namespace called system. So what do? We can decide to write the system here. The red error line is no longer showing because we have the system namespace here, which in it we have the console and the method right line. So if we run this program, it's going to work. So the program runs well, showing Hello C#. Don't bother about this path shown and also this comment below. Now the reason why we don't normally write system this way is because if we want to run another line, when I change it to hello newbie, I'm still going to have system here, and if I run it, we have the Hello C# and hello newbie. But now looking at this, if we are running about 10 lines, we are still going to use system all throughout the 10 times. And wherever we want to run in our program, we will continually use system. So because of that, using namespace is good in order to format our program well and make the size of the program to be smaller. So in this case, instead of repeating system, I'm going to write using system. Then we can run only console class and the method containing the strings, and the program will still work fine as we shown. So we are going to remove this system and write using system. So if we run it, one more time, it runs fine. Next, we are going to take a look at the class program. Every C# program has this class program. This is the main class of all your C# projects. Now inside this class, we have a static void method called main. And inside the main, we have string and args, which is the argument. When we run our program, the program starts running from this main method. The code inside this method is the code that will run. Any code outside this method cannot be run except it is called inside this method. What do I mean by that? Let us run this program and see the results. Take a look at the results. In the result, we have Hello C#. Meanwhile, we have two methods and two output strings. But it's only this Hello C# that is showing. This is because the code inside the main method are the only codes that will run. So what do we do in order for this code to run as well? We are going to call this method inside this main method. We are having error because there is a default argument. So I'm going to delete this argument, and now the red line goes off, so it's now right. So we are going to run this program to see the results. We can see hello C#, I am method 1 string. So the program runs well. What we did here is called calling of method. We called this method main1. If you don't understand this, don't worry. When we come to a topic called method, you are going to see more details. So the purpose of the main method is that it is only the code found inside the main method that runs or that can be outputted. So we can have thousands of methods, but the codes found in the main methods are the code that are going to be run. So what we do when we have thousands of methods, we find a way that we call them inside this main method. So when the program starts from this line of code and enters the method, it will also find other methods that we call. Then it will be able to run the lines of code in those methods as well. Reading and writing in C# programming. The word reading is known as input. What it normally denotes is that the computer or the program reading a values put into the program by the user. The value could be number, string, or boolean value, which is either false or true. Just like what we have in this diagram, we have the input values entering the process. The method we use to take in input values is called readLine. This readLine is a method found in the class console. The program takes in values from the user and processes it, then output the results. This output by the program is called writing. The method we use for outputting or writing the results from the program is called writeLine. This writeLine is also a method inside a class console. We are going to read and write our lines of code, then see how it runs and operates. So I'm going to write console.readLine, then the next is going to be console.writeLine, but writing this and running it this way is not going to give us any results, because this console.readLine taking input from the user, there is no place stored that will take it to the process and to be outputted. So what we are going to do is we are going to take in the values and store it into a variable. In that case, we are going to specify the data type, that's the kind of values that we are expecting into the program. Once again, do not bother if you don't understand the word data type and variable. In our next video, you will see them in details. So I'm going to write string, let me say user equal to. What this means is we have a variable called user. This variable is expected to take string value. This method that we are going to use to get in value from the user must take in string value and will store them in user. Then we come here and put the variable. Then we are going to receive whatever value we receive from here. Then the writeLine will output it. So let's run this program and see the results. So the program is running with empty console, meaning the program is expecting an input. So if we write down something and we click on enter, exactly the value, the string value we input inside the program is exactly the value outputted. Now in this case, it may look confusing because there is no space in between. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to format the code well so you will see it clearly. So let's cancel this. Let me duplicate this line of code. And I will delete this. Without a value to output, it gives a line space. In that case, we do it in order to format our code well. And to make the user get more information on what to do, I'm going to copy this line of code. Before the input value, Then I'm going to output an instruction for the user. I will say, please write the string value. Then I'm going to run this code. So the instruction is outputted, please write a string value. So this string value now, I can put my name, Isoboye, click on enter. You see the output now is Isoboye, and we have a space because we wrote console.writeLine without any value outputted, which gives it a space. So this is how reading and writing is done in C# programming. From our program, you can see that we output a string, please write a string value, without using a variable. So in this case, to output such strings this way without using a variable, we write our strings in between double quotations inside this console.writeLine. So when we run the program, we saw the strings, but the double quote is not shown here because that is how it is being written in the C# program. We can also output numbers. In the case of numbers, there is no need to write double quotations. So let me say we are trying to output these numbers 1, 2, 3. If we output it, the first line is going to show 1, 2, 3. The result is 1, 2, 3. However, we can also put in numbers in a variable, then output the numbers. But doing it that way, it will be different from this string and there is going to be convert. So we are going to do that in details in our next video, which we are going to talk about data type, and we are going to show all the data types and how to input them and also output them. Alright, here is an exercise for you. Modify the sample program to print a different greeting. For example, good day. You can use different greeting of your choice in place of the LOC# in the example program. You can write down your results at the comment section below this video. In this video, we've been able to see the structure of C#. We have done introduction to namespace, the introduction to method, purpose of the main method, reading and writing in C#. So from now on, I'm going to give you some exercise in the weekly challenge. I have weekly challenge playlist where you can go and be answering the questions concerning the topics that we have done. Thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful, click on the like button. And if you have any question or contribution, write your contributions at the comment section. And please subscribe to this channel to see more videos. See you in the next video.